right, welcome everyone to Crash Course Radio. Your host, Peter Crouch. Hey, sorry for the late trigger pull there, but ran into some nonsense as usual at the body shop, so had to take care of that before I could be here, and ran over the clock. That's the problem with live radio, right? Difference between live and podcasting and tape. Live is live, right? You got to be here on the spot. So I apologize for that, but we are here now and live and with you in the studio, 631-451-1039. If you want to be part of the show, if you got something you want to say, maybe you got a problem that you need some answers to, that's what we're here for. All right. We've been helping people for quite a while now. All right. We've helped quite a number of individuals with insurance and auto body-related issues. All right. And we can do that for you here, all right, as well. 631-451-1039. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Anchor, and Spotify, right? All the cool places everybody wants to be, and that's where you can find us. All right. Thanks to the hard work of my social engineering genius there, Anthony. Thank you very much, Anthony. Continuing hard work there. He's making us, giving us quite a footprint out there. All right. Cool stuff. Hey, speaking of podcasting, so as I said, you know, we are looking into that, and we are working on something. I know I had said that I wanted to start adding a quick bit there on the podcast, some different material, right? So sit tight, all right, because I am trying to get that together for you. All right, so that's going to be stuff in addition to what you hear on the radio. Right now, you can go to our podcast, and it's a rerun of the show. Right, so it's cool because you can listen to that at your leisure. You know, things come up. Maybe you're driving along and you're kicking yourself in the head. Say, hey, you know, that guy was onto something. I want to go back and listen to that again when I can concentrate a little better. All right, so that's the cool stuff happening from the home base. So before we get on with the show here, all right, I want to throw out a little question of the day stuff here. So Riverhead Raceway. I looked into this, right? Hopefully everybody's aware of that. Right? We had talked about this a while back about what the unique history Long Island has in the racing industry, right? Pretty cool stuff, right? You had Islip Speedway, Freeport. Apparently there were like 20, 30, or 40 of these things. I think 40 at one point all over the island. Pretty cool stuff. But anyway, unfortunately right now, the only one that's in existence is Riverhead, right? Riverhead Raceway. All right, cool place. If you haven't been there, you should check it out. I spent the summer out there. A co-worker of mine was racing in the figure 8 race out there, Tommy Ferrara. Tommy, if you're listening, congratulations on your career there. Tommy retired, I think, last year or the year before. But that summer I spent out there supporting those guys was a lot of fun. I was in the pits, got to meet some really interesting, cool people. You know, some real down-to-earth, old-time American folk, you know, everybody just hanging out with family and friends and barbecuing, having a good old time. So it's a great family place to take everybody to. I had a blast that summer. I got to see the monster trucks. All right, it's really fun place. They do fireworks, the whole nine yards, and the races are amazing, right? They do modifieds out there. All right, I think they're the only downstate track that gets involved. Well, the only downstate track is Riverhead. Anyway, but they are like a NASCAR affiliated type of thing there, so it's pretty cool stuff. But anyway, question of the day surrounding Riverhead. All right, so when did Riverhead Raceway? Okay, when was it built? All right, and what is the race that's done there? All right, and it's called a world famous race. All right, what is the world famous race that is run at Riverhead? All right, and what year was it built? We're easy here, folks. You get within the time frame there. We're going to give something, right? We like to give away free stuff. I always say Santa Claus is in the house 24/7 here. This is the North Pole all year round. All right, and we love to give free stuff away. All right, so give us a call, 631-451-1039. Let's have a little fun today. And let's give away some free stuff. All right, we want to know when Riverhead Raceway was built, the year, and what is the famous race? What is the world famous race that they host there at Riverhead? All right, it's a really cool race. All right, so we'll wait for somebody brave enough to jump on the line on that. I want to get into deductible because I don't think I got on that. I know I talked about it last Tuesday, and then I kind of went off in a different tangent there. But I want to come back to that, the issue of the deductible. I think what I got on a roll about, which was very important because I think I just had an incident at my shop which was the price disparity. What people come in and they ask for a price, and it seems like this sticker shock. All right, I just had a woman this morning. All right, classic example, folks. Had a woman come in. She had a Lexus. I think it was a 2019, 2020 Lexus SUV. Had a little damage on the bumper, and I gave her a price, and she was shocked. All right, and I explained to her what was involved. This particular car was very complicated. Had a very large bumper, quite a number of items on it, which mean they all had to come off. It was a 3-stage pearl, which is a very expensive paint. Beautiful paint, right? You've all seen it. Very shiny, glittery white, but very expensive. Right? And at V&J, we don't do things half measure. Right? And remember, the shops on our network, all right, collisionservicenetwork.com. Right? The shops on our network, same thing, folks. You're not getting any half measures there. All right? These folks are going to fix your car the right way. Right? They're not looking to give you a price that's going to dazzle you. And then, you drive away and you're thinking, wow, I got all that done for almost nothing. Yeah, well, you probably did. All right, there's a lot of shops out there that'll do things for almost nothing. But guess what? The cost of that cheap job is going to come back to haunt you. Trust me, folks. I've been doing this for 30 years. It's going to come back to haunt you. All right, so you want to be very careful. All right, the auto body industry is wrought with all kinds of pitfalls and snake pits. All right. It's a very tricky industry to maneuver, all right? So that's why the folks here at collisionservicenetwork.com, all right, it's part of the reason why I started it, is to help the consumer, help the folks out there. I give them an unbiased source of information and knowledge you need and can use, and advice you can trust, right? You've been listening to the show, following the show. That is our mantra, all right? And it applies, I think, more so today than ever before. All right, so we want to help you navigate those pitfalls, right, when it comes to finding a reliable, professional auto body repair shop, right? One that most likely is a concierge shop. What I mean by that is they have a full-service, one-stop shop, right? They're going to take care of your rental needs, they're going to take care of your insurance needs, and they're going to take care of your repair needs, all right? Everything wrapped up into one little neat package, okay? So let's get back to the deductible thing, right? Because this is I had a segment on this probably about a year ago. But it needs to be addressed again. All right, folks, the deductible is that dollar amount that you tell your insurance company you have no problem paying, right? You took out the policy, you went to your agent, you went to your broker, and that person told you what your premium was going to be, and you fell off the chair, and then lo and behold, he tells you, well, hey, we can hire you a deductible, and don't worry about it because when you get in an accident, the body shop's going to take care of it. Well, not exactly, right? So we got about 1:40 left here, and so I'm not going to get into the meat and potatoes. We're going to hit that on the following segment. But what I want to say to that is that there's a lot more behind that. It's easy for the broker and the agent to say that because it makes them look good. They look like a hero. They just lowered what you're going to have to pay, right, on premium. But what they're not saying is that might cost you a lot of money if you have a loss. All right, and we'll get into that and why that's so. That's kind of the gist of what I want to do here. Do we have somebody on the phone? We have a caller? I'm sorry. I apologize, folks. There's a little communication snafu here in the studio. I thought they were indicating to me that we had a caller, but it wasn't registering on my screen. At any rate, so it's the deductible is like this nefarious thing, right? People they know it. Well, not everybody knows about it because I get people that come in my office and what's your deductible? I don't know. All right, you should know, folks. I'm going to tell you why you should know. All right, and there's also a little adage in the industry, all right, which is really cool, and I'll tell you what that is. All right, when we come back from the break. For over 35 years, the Cacciatore family has provided state-of-the-art auto collision repairs. V&J Auto Body is not only certified to repair all makes and models, V&J is one of the few auto body repair shops certified by Tesla to repair and recalibrate their automobiles, as well as other electric and hybrid vehicles. Detailed repairs combined with award-winning concierge service makes V&J the only choice for your collision repair needs. V&J will pick up your automobile wherever on Long Island you are, provide you with a rental, and deliver your vehicle vehicle when the job is complete. Too good to be true? Visit VJAutobody.com. That's VJAutobody.com. Come over and meet the crew. VJ Auto Body's 2 state-of-the-art facilities are equipped with the latest technologies in auto repair. Let V&J communicate with your insurance company for you and deliver back to you a detailed, perfectly repaired vehicle. Contact V&J Auto Body by visiting VJAutobody.com or call 631-226-0070. That's 631-226-0070. All right, we're feeling all right over here in our wonderful studios at 103.9 at the beautiful, majestic Islip Airport. Welcome back, everyone. I am your host, Peter Crouch, and this is Crash Course. All right, the first and only radio show dedicated to promoting and supporting the privately owned and operated auto body industry across the great fruited plain of Long Island. And, of course, most importantly, we get to talk to the folks, right, and help everybody out. And speaking of the folks, I think we have Steve from Eastport on. Steve, thanks for calling in, Steve. Thanks for hanging on, too. Sorry about that. What do you got, Steve? You want to take a crack at the question of the day?
Yeah, I'll take a shot.
Go ahead. What do you got?
Well, what do you want to know the year first, or? Yeah,
we want to know the year that the Riverhead Raceway opened, and then what is the world famous race that they host out there?
So I'm going to say it was around 1949.
Yes, sir. That's it. All right. I tell you, we've come a long way, Steve. We got sound effects now. All right, used to just be me. All right, and what's the second part?
So it was from ABC Wild World Sports, the world famous figure eight racing.
All right, folks. What did I tell you? We got the smartest listeners out there in Crash Course. Hit it out of the park, Steve. That is it. The figure eight. That's absolutely it. It is a world-class figure eight course. All right, and I of course, witnessed that firsthand, as I told you. I spent the summer out there. A good friend of mine, ex-co-worker, who raced, Tommy Ferrara. Right? And he was a pretty damn good racer, too.
Back in the day, I had a few people that I knew that raced the figure eights back at Islip Speedway. So then I'd followed them a little bit when they went to Riverhead. I usually go over there a couple times a year.
Yeah, it's a great place, isn't it? I mean, it harkens back to the I know I sound like an old fart here, but I mean, I'm sorry, but I think it's true. It harkens back to the traditional fun days. You went to carnivals, you went to Italian feasts, I grew up around Islip Speedway, so I know what you're talking about. I remember that place like the back of my hand. I mean, we had so many great times there.
Back in the late 70s, early 80s, actually, Islip was it was really good because they fielded in the figure eight race probably about 25 cars, but it's kind of dwindled down now because of I guess cost-wise and everything. There's only about maybe 12, 13, 14 cars now. So when you had a lot of cars, there was a lot of action.
Yes, yeah, and you are right about that. Even when I was out there, it was probably about 5 years ago. I spent the summer out there with Tommy. And yeah, there were probably about 14 cars in it, but I do remember, correct, I remember back in the heyday, there would be quite a few cars in the figure eight. Folks, if you've never checked it out, you really you owe it to yourself. Take your family if you got kids. At least check it out one night. It's a lot of fun. There's always something going on there. They have great food there. Clean facilities. I mean, I sound like I'm advertising for the racetrack, but it's just, it's good, clean fun. It's a good, wholesome, family fun place. And, like I said, I grew up in the 70s, like Steve's talking about Islip Speedway. It was a great place. I don't know, Steve, you remember they used to have the race what you bring, which was hysterical.
Yeah.
A few of my friends tried that out. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Run what you brung.
Run what you brung. Yes, that's it. Very good. Yeah. All right, so there you go, folks. Hey, Steve, hang on the line, and we're going to capture your vitals, and we're going to get you out some really cool stuff, including a $15 gift card to Dunkin' Donuts. All right, we hope you enjoy that. Thank you very much for listening to the show and supporting the show. All right, Steve, you have a great day, man.
Okay, thank you.
You got it. Yep, bye. All right, folks, there you go. What can I say, right? I always say we got the smartest listeners. All right, Steve, bringing me back to my past there. All right, growing up in the 70s, I was a 70s kid. We had a lot of racetracks here, folks, right? Like I said, Freeport was a big one. And, of course, Islip Speedway. And then there was Hamptons, West Hampton Beach. Right? There was a drag strip out there. An old buddy of mine used to drag out there. His own dragster and stuff. was all good stuff. It was a lot of fun. It was the good old days. I know people are probably saying, scratching their head, laughing. Oh, he's talking about the good old days. He's old. You know what? I don't know, though. I really think that in many respects, all right, not to get off the reservation here, we'll get back to the topic material today, but I think in many respects, folks, I think that it really has a lot more traction today to say the good old days. It really does. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going on out there that really depart from a lot of more what we used to consider traditional American things. So I think stuff like speedways. I think things like carnivals and amusement parks, and that's how I grew up, and it was a lot of fun. It was clean fun. Everybody had a great time. I'm not saying it was a perfect world. It wasn't. It was very imperfect, to be honest with you. But it worked. It just worked. Everybody needs to have a benchmark and a base. And I think that's what that provided. And again, not to say that it was any kind of utopia or there weren't issues, but it was just really cool. I mean, I'm very grateful for having grown up in that time frame. All right, so that's a little walk down memory lane with me there. Steve, thanks a lot again. All right, folks, so we were talking about deductibles. All right, now we're going to get back to the meat and potatoes here, Crash Course Radio. Right? And everybody's just biting at the bit. They're like, oh, he's getting back into it again. Getting away from the fun stuff. Now, hopefully this is fun too, right? I mean, you pick up a little something here and there, and that's what we try to do here, Crash Course, right? We like to say we are the voice, the real voice, all right, of the Long Island auto body industry. But I think more important, after a year and a half, we're the voice of the people, right? And I don't mean that like in some kind of revolutionary, hoity-toity, type of thing here. But I mean it sincerely, the voice of the people, the voice of the consumer, right? Because when it comes to things like insurance, when it comes to things like collision and auto body, I really don't think that, for the most part, a lot of people are invested that much in that. I spoke about this a while back. And I think, unfortunately, today you have to be. You really do. I mean, insurance company, at least here on Long Island, and probably across the country, from what I understand, they control a lot of that, folks. And what do we mean by control? Well, information and also, operation. Right? So they control access to the information that you need, right? And then they also control the apparatus or the operation of it. And what we're talking about there is what? The body shops, right? They have contracts. They go out and they ask Joe Blow Auto Body, ABC Auto Body, Tricky Dicks, hey, you guys all want to be, want to be part of our network? Want to help us out? Yeah, sure. And they all jump up and down, jump right on the bandwagon. You know why, folks? Because in that industry, in the auto body industry, 98% of the guys out there do zero work when it comes to marketing and advertising. Zero work. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a body shop advertised? You saw a body shop advertised on a billboard, right? Or on the back of a menu sheet in a diner, or a TV commercial, or a radio ad. Very rare, right? Think about that. Just stop and think about that for a minute. Very, very, very rare. Okay, they invest very little in their own outcomes. Okay, and today they can really get away with that because the insurance company's doing all that for them. Get in an accident, you call the insurance company listens to you. Okay, yeah, everybody okay? Yeah, all right, we're sorry for your accident. Glad everybody's okay. And now listen, here's what you're going to do. You're going to send me pictures of your damaged car, all right, and then after we get the pictures, we're going to send you an estimate, which is grossly underwritten. They're not going to tell you that. Grossly underwritten, and we're hoping that you just run away and forget about it. But if you don't, and you need a body shop, then you're going to take the car. They don't even say you can. They just tell you. You're going to take your car over to Tricky Dick's, and he's going to fix the car because he agreed to work with us and fix your car. That's it, right? So that's what you're going to get, okay? And it's not very good advice and not very good direction. And so that's what's going on out there, right? So it's more important for us, right? I say us, consumers, right, customers, to make sure that we're more involved with the process today. All right, especially after I talked about, there was a paradigm shift in the industry. We all know about that after COVID. More people are buying cars today, financing cars today than leasing cars. It means you have an invested interest in the longevity of the car. All right, it's more of a personal attachment now to you. It's not like you're borrowing somebody else's property. Well, guess what? Well, then you better darn well know who's fixing your car and how. Right? You got to drive that car for 10, 15, 20 years, folks. Is he putting like 3 inches of plastic on there? Is he fixing something he shouldn't fix? Are they not replacing something that should be replaced? Do they even know how to replace it if they have to? Right? They're going to tell you they do. Walk into a body shop, they're going to, oh yeah, I can figure. I see with Tesla. We're Tesla certified. You have to be a certified facility. I know people out there right now listening to me are probably like, if they're in the body shop world, this guy's nuts, he's full of baloney. Well, yes. Can you put a bumper cover on a Tesla? Yes. Can you put a fender on? Can you put a headlight on? Yeah. Try getting that car back on the road, though. Right? You're going to be calling me at V&J Auto Body because you need access to Toolbox through Tesla. All right, I got a little bit on the off on the tangent there. I apologize. When we come back, I'm gonna finish up on the deductible issue. All right, and clarify that for everybody. See you on the other side of the break. All right, we're feeling all right here at Crash Course. Welcome back, everyone. This is, of course, Crash Course, the one and only radio show, first of its kind ever here on Long Island. We're very proud of that. About a year and a half now we're on the radio, I think, maybe a little longer than that. Anyway, welcome, everyone, to the final segment of Crash Course. I am your host, Peter Krausch. All right, and you opened the show, I was talking about deductible, right? So let me get right back to it with that. All right. What I said about the deductibles, it's kind of like that nefarious thing. All right. And what do I mean by that? Well, when we take out insurance, all right, we're always asked about it. All right. What do you want to pay for your deductible? All right. And your deductible, of course, is what? That's the amount of money that you decided you were comfortable with paying if you needed to file an insurance claim, right? You told the insurance company, I got no problem paying that. No problem. I got that money set aside in a bank account because, folks, when you turn around and you tell the insurance company you're good with $2,000, their assumption is you put that $2,000 aside, right? They call financial responsibility laws, right? Some states like Vermont, I believe, or maybe New Hampshire or both, they don't even require you to have insurance, right? They have what's called financial responsibility laws, and that means you have to demonstrate that you have a certain amount of money set over here. It's a pile of money. If you get in an accident and you screw somebody, you're going to be able to pay your way out of it. All right, so your deductible is kind of like that, right? You're telling the insurance company, I'm cool with $500. You guys, if I got to dial you guys up and I got in a wreck, no problem. I got $500 I could pull right out of the back of my pocket here. That's what you tell them. Until you get in the accident, then you come and you tell me you don't have the $500. It's quite comical the way the whole process works. Right, so now you have an accident. You come to the body shop, and the body shop's, what's your deductible? $500. I don't have $500. Wow. Okay. Right, and the body shop is supposedly it's going to help you, right? That's what your broker and your agent told you, right? Your broker and your agent said, well, your premium's going to be this much, and you fall off the chair, and he picks you up and puts you back in the chair, right? And then he says, but don't worry. What we're going to do is we're going to make your deductible $1,000. Right? Woo! $1,000. You're like, great. What does that mean? Well, it's low on your premium. Oh, great. But folks, here's the cliche that I spoke about earlier. Right? What we like to say on the auto body side of things is deductibles save you a little bit of money, little bit on your premium, but they cost you a lot of money when you have a loss. Okay, $1,000 is a lot of money that you gotta come up with, right? $1,000 laying around. Do we all have $1,000? I don't know. Some of us might. Right, but do you really want to? You get a nervous tick probably. If you got to hand that over for auto body, right? Your hands probably shaking trying to write the check out. So here's the deal, folks. All right, and here's the deal with the deductible mystique. All right, the nefarious deductible. Your broker, your agent wants to sell a policy, right? You need a policy, you can't drive, but you don't want to pay a lot of money, right? But you want to make sure you're covered. So your broker knows this. He gives you this astronomical deductible and says, hey, don't worry about it. Pat you on the back. You're good, man. I saved you about $150, $200 on your premium for the year. $1,000 deductible. You know what? If you have an accident, you go to the body shop, they take care of you. Wow, okay, great. Thanks, Mr. Agent. You run out the door 6 months later, you drive your car into a pole, right? You don't have the $1,000 laying around. Now you're scratching your head. Oh, my God, we got to call the insurance company. We got to come up with $1,000. You come to the body shop, and you remember what the agent told you. Go to the body shop and ask them, hey, I need help with my deductible. So that's what you do, right? You come and you see me. Pete comes out. How you doing, Mr. Jones, Mr. Smith? All right, no problem. What's your deductible? $1,000. And, folks, here's another thing about deductibles. A lot of people don't seem to understand what their deductible is. Folks, everyone listening to my voice should go back to their insurance policy tonight, right? You should open up your policy. If you don't have a policy to open up, you should call your agent, call your broker, and say, I want to know what my coverages are and what I'm responsible for, because I can't tell you how many people come in, they have no idea what their deductible is. Folks, that's like not knowing what your credit card limit is or what your interest rate is on your credit card, and you just keep charging. It's very important. Everybody remember what I said? You should shop your insurance, right? Every 6 months. This is another example of that. Well, you need to be very aware about what it is you agree to with your broker or your agent. Because guess what? When you get in that accident, they're going to make you remember. So you go to a body shop, right? Now hopefully it's going to be a Collision Service Network body shop. And you tell them you have $1,000 deductible. And you say, well, my insurance guy told me you're going to be able to help me with that. Okay. Folks, let me clarify this with helping on the deductibles. All right. There is no such thing as an insurance deductible fund. All right. Hopefully somebody's chuckling out there and laughing. In other words, when you come into a body shop and you say to the body shop, hey, I need help with my deductible. I don't have the money. Right. Whatever the problem. I don't have the money. Well, I have the money, but I don't really want to give it to you. That's not what anybody says, but that's probably what most people are implying. Whatever the case, your intention is not to pay it or not to pay all of it, right? Let's face it, folks. Come on. Nobody really intends on coughing up that $500 or that $1,000, right? When they tell the insurance company they're good with that. So now you stand in front of the body shop and you say to them, I don't have $1,000, or I need help. Can you help me with it? So there's no deductible fund. Right? Let that sink in. No deductible fund. What I mean by that is when you ask a body shop, can you help me? Can you save some of my deductible? Can you save all my deductible? There's only two ways that happens, folks. That's either you get paid for something through negotiations that you don't really need, or we get paid for something that we fix. That's it. It's not coming out of the business. Trust me. Ain't coming out of the business. So if you roll in with a parts job, it's very difficult for a body shop to turn around and find any kind of flexibility there, right? Because it's not going to come out of the business. Right? If it's a $5,000 job and it's $4,000 in parts and $1,000 in labor, where's the beef? Right? Remember that commercial? Where's the beef? I think it was the little old lady, right? That did that. She probably made a ton of money. At any rate, getting back to this deductible thing. So just kind of keep that in mind, folks, all right? Listen, I'm not saying that, that this is a bad thing. I get it. We all get it, all right? And honestly, there probably are quite a few people who are financially incapable of paying that at the time. And we get it. We understand it, whatever it is, whatever the issue is. However, there are no deductible funds, right? Body shop doesn't have a pile of cash, pile of money laying around every year. All right, we're going to set up our budget for the year. Oh, our deductible fund. What do we have to do? Oh, we have to put another $60,000 in there for this year? No. It ain't working like that. No deductible funds. So when you come into a body shop and you have a $5,000 job and $4,000 in parts and $1,000 in labor, and you look at me and say, hey, Pete, I need help, my $1,000 deductible. Guess what? You do need help. But it's not going to come from the body shop. All right? That's how it works, folks. Hopefully I just, obliterated the big mystique and the riddle about deductible savings and stuff like that. Now, Collision Service Network body shops, we understand this. We as in our network. All right? These folks understand that. They get that. All right? And they get it because they're able to negotiate effectively. See, that's the difference, though, there. You go to a Collision Service Network shop, these folks know how to handle the insurance companies. They have relationships with the adjusters, with the insurance companies. They negotiate effectively and professionally, so they get an agreed price, which is sufficient to repair the car, all right, the way it's supposed to be repaired. And in doing so, many times they can offer what's called a discount on your deductible, all right? They can discount your deductible. All right. So we got about a minute left. Folks, I want to end up by saying this about deductible. All right. Contrary to what you hear out there, it is not illegal, nor is it insurance fraud if you don't pay your deductible. That's another one of those lies. All right. And you heard it firsthand right here on Crash Course. Not a crime. It's not insurance fraud. In fact, folks, and I spoke about this, when you have a loss, guess what? Your insurance company holds that off your payment, so you actually paid your deductible as far as the insurance guys are concerned. All right? All right, I hope you learned a little bit here today. I hope we had a little fun with the Riverhead Raceway question there. Steve, thanks again. Folks, thanks for listening and supporting the show. Tell everybody, tell your friends, family, we're here for you. Crash Course, all right? Everybody have a safe week. Enjoy the nice weather that's finally here. And we'll see everybody next week.